2 newcomers to Canada are receiving no jail time after sex offenses. And I know what you're going to say, I do not want to see that in my comments, because it does not matter where they were from. I recently chatted with a political scientist who basically said that the reason that the alt-right is rising is because politicians are not doing anything to address what the concerns are of our citizens. And while I don't agree with the narrative that the courts are too liberal and people are getting away with crimes that they shouldn't be, this does not help the narrative when people say racist things and start pointing fingers. Because if our politicians and our courts do not start providing solutions to the problems that people are perceiving, they will start using the lowest common denominator, the easiest thing to complain about, and say that that's the fault. Because in one of the cases, a PR was not given jail time so that his ability to sponsor relatives to come to Canada would not be impacted. And here's the thing, okay, if I had an interview for med school and then I assaulted the interviewer, I wouldn't get into med school. And I understand that this is a different scenario, but it's very easy for people to look at scenarios like this and just get angry. And they have a right to be angry. The other case was a foreign national on a student visa given no jail time. And the PR was trying to bring his wife to Canada. The thing that he got arrested for was trying to hire a 15-year-old as a prostitute. And there is no end to these types of stories that you can find online. Right now, people are scared and they're going to be looking for every reason to be blaming others. And one of the easiest groups to blame right now is immigrants, is people trying to come to Canada. That doesn't make it acceptable. But when our politicians and our courts do nothing in order to make average Canadians feel safe, they will resort to the worst forms of thinking. Like 200 Indian refugees using the exact same story, all having the same consultant. Once again, I do not want to hear racist comments because that's not what this is about. I am advocating against your comments because this is not a left-right issue. This is not an issue of race. This is an issue of whether or not our government is doing what it needs to do to address the concerns of citizens. Because when governments do not address the concerns of citizens, that's when the alt-right rises. That is when our worst instincts take over. If somebody commits SA, they should be deported. If somebody is here on a work visa and they expose themselves during a technician visit, they should be deported. And they should be given jail time too. And these are nuanced conversations. I am obviously not getting everything across in a 2-minute video. Because if we don't start addressing the common sense stuff, like sending people to jail when it involves sex crimes or otherwise deporting them if they're here on a work visa, we are going to start seeing a lot of average people, not even people on the right, just average people from across the political spectrum giving in to their worst tendencies and saying things that they would have never happened to have thought to say before. And that is a dangerous, dangerous slippery slope for Canadian politics.